We are dealing here with the Baltic Sea case study, and the team working on this, it's me, Ralph, Fred, and Michael, all based in Södertörn University in Stockholm, Sweden. Our focus is on an offshore wind energy conflict in Estonia on an island called Hiiumaa. Now, a very brief history of this island. It used to be a territory belonging to Germany, and then to Denmark, and then to Sweden, and then as part of Russia and the USSR, and then later on to Estonia before it joined the European Union. Now, this island, it sort of prides itself as a green area, without any much interference from industry or pollution. Its energy, electricity is generated here mostly through oil shale, which is sort of 76% of it through oil shale. And climate, the island has this ambition to reduce its energy dependence from abroad, which is a major issue in the island at the moment. So they want to reduce energy dependence from abroad and then increase their share of renewable energy in final consumption to 50%. Next slide, Michael. Now, the different parties involved in this conflict, on the one hand, marine planners, because offshore wind energy was planned as part of, as a theme within marine spatial planning, which is mandated for all EU seas. And now, so the marine planners on the one hand, and the developer, Green Enefit, or Enefit Green, which is part of a state, which is a subsidiary of a state-owned energy company. And then on the other hand, local activists who later on become an environmental NGO. There is the Ministry of Environment as well, the Ministry of Defense, that is considered to have quite some big veto power here. And on the other hand, there is also a municipality and broad experts who equally have a stake here in terms of offshore wind energy. Now, the conflict itself, it has moved from being a latent conflict to conflict that has been felt, and then from that to a manifest conflict. This sort of movement of the conflict from one stage to another, the evolution of it, this was between 2012 and 2016 when marine spatial planning was implemented on the island. This conflict started, but then sort of became very manifest in 2016 when the actual marine plan was adopted alongside the offshore wind energy proposal. Now, locals sort of became an environmental NGO so as to legally contest the plan, or at least the offshore wind energy theme, in court. Now, this court process, there were several court processes from 2016 to 2018, when the Supreme Court of Estonia actually finally revoked the offshore wind energy theme, leaving the marine spatial plan in force. Since then, there is the developer has produced a new environmental impact assessment and has displayed this, but this has happened amidst opposition by the local activists. But right now, at the moment, there is some sort of hiatus in terms of conflict because the government is not ready to push for this wind energy on the island, at least. In terms of findings, at least preliminary findings at the moment, we would say that our analysis is that the conflict engagement mode on the island, or the approach, has been sort of dismissive of conflict, at least by marine planners and offshore wind energy proponents themselves. They have been very dismissive of conflict. And so there has been a lack of sort of agonistic principles of conflict transformation within this conflict. We also see that there is sort of more weight given to blue growth objectives and very little to environmental or marine conservation and local justice here in terms of the different visions, alternative visions of the locals, but also their recognition, their rights. Much weight hasn't been paid to this. We also see local agents as good agents of environmental change, at least in the sense that one of the key reasons for the opposition of the wind farm, it's because of its impact on migratory birds on that island, which hasn't really been taken into consideration, even though the Supreme Court decision sort of draws on this. So then we think that the decision or the protest which led to the Supreme Court decision to cancel the offshore wind energy project, it sort of has led to a change in the way that impact assessments are conducted in the ocean area of Estonia in general. This is because the Supreme Court sort of drew, its conclusion was that the strategic environmental assessment that was conducted as part of marine spatial planning wasn't detailed enough to show the impacts of offshore wind energy. And this in itself, I think the marine planners are trying to consider how they can use this kind of decision in future planning scenarios. Now, a question that I would like to throw out there for reflection would be how to better recruit disputants for co-production in a highly sensitive conflict setting like this one. Thank you, Michael.